impossible translated is outside of your perspective. Impossible equals outside my perspective. So for me, like 6 months to 3 months, possible, I get it, logical. You just 2x all of your output. 6 months into 1 month, 6x your output. But 6 months to 6 hours, I have no fucking idea.
Chent, welcome to Master of Achievement podcast.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
I am really, really excited for this conversation because honestly, after getting to know you, after working with you and being in your orbit, so many things have changed for me energetically. And that's everything that I want to kind of dive into today because I have never met someone like you before.
Thank you. Likewise.
And so, let's just start from the beginning. What is Chent's story? How did everything that you've experienced, that you've been through, allow you to become the person that you are today and have the philosophies, have the mentality, have the energy that you have today?
I love it. I love how you worded that. Like, I've been asked my origin story many times, and I find how you ask it is the answer or the twist I give. So how is my story? What is my story and how has it shaped me? Again, this could be the whole podcast, but grew up, simple family, Auckland, New Zealand. All of my extended family is in Malaysia and around the world. So I never really had a close, a wide family environment. It was just me, brother, dad, mum. Us four. That's all I knew family to be. And I was a very innocent child. I was quite disruptive and my imagination would get me in trouble, but I was quite timid, scared, didn't really challenge anything. So I spent a lot of my time, honestly, indoors playing computer games. That was just me. I had my own computer when I was 5. I got the internet when I was 7. So I would just explore, and it's probably why technology is a big part of my life now. The big sort of twist happened when I was 10. Mum got diagnosed with cancer. I always say this, I couldn't process it because the star sign was cancer. So I remember when she came and told me and my brother, I was thinking, why are you crying? She's always been cancer, So that I still remember that dialogue in my head.
Yeah.
But I knew something wasn't right, and I think I was just losing myself because I was playing literally a computer game while she was telling us. And she even came and said, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
But then the next 4 years, when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, she went through a battle and she passed when I was 14. And this was probably the first pivotal event that made me who I am today. So she passes, your parent dies, you go home, you get 2 weeks of school, and you're going to bed every night. And I even just remember what the fuck happened? Okay, what was that? Okay, what's the point? Up until that point, you get all these, if you do good in life, good things will happen to you. And bad people, bad things happen. But now I had good person, bad thing happened. So I was like, okay, so you don't have to be, so the good people get taken early. So good and bad and all of these, what's fair and processing emotion all got blurred. And this heavily influenced my teenage years and early 20s. So now I'm back in school 2 weeks later. This is the dialogue every single night when I'm going to sleep is what is everything? What is anything? What's the purpose of life, etc. Okay, my dad's going to die next now, and my brother, because I'm the youngest, so therefore I'm going to be alone. So then there was this deep confusion, being lost, but at the same time also an urgency of you better become good. You better become who you need to be. So long story short, it was honestly, 15, 16, 17 was a blur. You go through what you go through. You get your first girlfriend. You have your first heartbreak. You seek external validation. You start going to the gym. But all of these things, I didn't know what I was chasing, but I was chasing something, which then came around later in life, right?
Yeah.
And this eventually led me into, I started seeing in New Zealand, small town, every neighborhood had their neighborhood gang, and they had fear and status. So I'd look at these brothers and I'd look at how other people would view these guys, oh, let's go the other way, etc. But these guys just owned the street. They had ownership, they had power. And I think I was so lost and skinny and lacking that, and I had no family, that when I remember seeing these guys at 14, 15, and I really wanted that. And I was very good at observing and adapting. That's always been a strength of mine too, maybe because of just extreme hardship and just having to adapt, that
Yeah.
I found through observation and almost just studying, embodied and modeled that, and I became conditioned like a gang member without a gang almost at
Yeah.
17, which then naturally attracted me to them. And then they became my brothers, and I started to notice that, as you do things and you get your reputation up and you put in work, you get more love. And then the more love you have, the more power you have. Your say means something in the street, because if you haven't put in work, you can't say anything. So then that started feeding something in me, gave me something that I was missing. And then I started to go deeper into that. Innocent, like, brawls and stuff start turning into full criminal activities. You don't realize it because you're just sort of in this blur of
And
seeking.
it's accepted in that bubble.
It's accepted. The neighborhood is so crazy. It's like there's like this territory where it's lawless.
Yeah.
Like, you could have a full 5-on-5 with weapons on the street, and you can guarantee that no neighbor is going to call the cops. Like, cops won't be called. So it's green light.
That's
and then,
crazy.
and then you like merge into that, where you're living in that more than you are normal society.
Yeah.
So then every now and then we'd have to go to the mall or something to pick up something. So we'd take a carload and go. But now all of us are conditioned in a lawless world going into normal society. And that usually ends up bad. Like, we'll just commit some crimes and then come back to the hood. So that was like my life from like 17, 18 till about 24. Good 7 years.
Yeah.
And then it was unconditioning myself back into society.
Yeah.
Where you don't just hit somebody, or you don't just pull out a weapon on somebody. You don't just take what you want. And that then spins into just how that evolved into entrepreneurship.
It's interesting that you said growing up, you had this thing in you where you knew you wanted to be something, but you didn't know what it was. And I think so many people can relate to that, because, I mean, I remember like growing up as well, and I'm like, I know that I want to be something, but what is that something? And then we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to try and define what that is. How has that changed, or what was that experience for you, or what unlearning did you have to do to even get to that place of solace?
Yeah, I would say the solace. It's a paradox. Solace doesn't exist. But that thought itself is solace. And coming to acceptance of that is something that you almost have to be so lost that you long for the something, to then even be like, okay, I think this is the something. I think becoming a millionaire is the something. Cool. You achieve that to some essence, and then your mind will go, actually, it was 10 million, it wasn't a million. And it'll keep going. And then it'll be like, okay, cool. So it actually wasn't the money, it's my soulmate. My soulmate is the solace. And you go, and then you go through, and you realize, like, as you experience these things, you see the truth of these things. But the only really way to really express it is, like, I notice, you'll notice this too, in every chapter, I wake up, I shave, I wash my face in the morning, I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm looking back at the something, or I'm looking at somebody longing for something, and it's like, okay, cool, let's get ready for the day. I'm ready. But deep inside, there's this thing in us, and I feel sometimes we can get so conditioned in life or substances or just a routine and autopilot that connection with yourself is gone, and you never actually go there.
Yeah.
Because you just got to hurry up to work, or there's this milestone, or there's a big push in your company right now, and then you can only really think in December.
Yeah.
But fuck, life happens. And
Yeah.
then 10 years pass, 20 years pass, 30 years pass, and then sometimes you just don't even go there. You almost accept that it's not real.
Yeah, because I was also going to say, right, you went into the gangs, and even our whole life, not even the gangs, but I use that as an example, because the more you were able to show some sort of outcome, the more you were rewarded, the more you felt belonged. And it's the same in normal society, if you want to call it, right? Like, if we finish graduating, that's an outcome. If we get the job, that's an outcome. And we've been so conditioned to tie our self-worth to our achievements. It was something
External.
that I really, really, really struggled with for so many years. It's like when you just feel like nothing is ever enough. So for you, like, how did you I wouldn't say overcome, because I think there's different levels to it, but how do you get to a stage where achievement doesn't hold that negative power over you, even though ironically achievement is meant to represent something very positive?
Yeah, honestly, it all leads to self-discovery.
Yeah.
Because as you think these things, you go for these things, and as you go for these things, if you stay going for them, you get them, and then you realize it doesn't give you what you're looking for, and then it gets you to question. But the questions are the answers. The question mark is a pathway to answer it, to explore the answer
Mm.
that usually goes within. And I look at everything as simple way to put it is layers. Like there's this bodily layer, there's this mind layer, and then there's your spirit or your soul or what you actually are. So your body's going to want to crave things impulsively, and your mind's going to have a dialogue of like why you think you want things. And then there's something beyond that. And this is the paradox, because you're living all layers at once. And some of those layers contradict each other. Like the mind is going to think it needs that next thing, but the spirit is good. You're good with everything because the only thing is now, but the mind operates in time. And then the body is going to trigger these impulses of like, I really need this right now. I really need that right now. And your mind's going to agree or disagree, have its dialogue. So it's just honestly just layers of self discovery. And it's not like I made this logical choice and I'm like, yes, the answer is within. Life broke me. Life broke the body. So I started looking at the mind as subconscious programming, blah, blah, blah. Then life broke my mind. So then I was forced to like actually go even further within. What is spirituality? What is source? What is presence, etc. So it's almost like life leads you down your path if you're willing to go there. And when it breaks you, the first thing you want to do is like swerve it and just quickly distract yourself. But how many times are you going to swerve it? You know, you're just getting older and you're just repeating these loops. So it's hard, man. But if you're willing to go there, it's fucking amazing.
When did you realize that you think differently? And it's not in the sense where it's like, oh, I think differently, I think outside the box, but where you're like, I'm just not, I don't really see eye to eye, or like genuinely there's just a lot of difference in the way that I view the world.
Two events come to mind. The first one would be Paris 2017 and another one in 2019. So Paris 2017, I'm 27 years old. Just my life at this point, I couldn't really keep a job, and careers went for me. All of my circle, 99% of them had kids when they were 21. I was the only one who didn't. And even when they were, I had a partner at the time and I was like, fuck it, should I just get her pregnant? You know, just because everyone, I think that's a New Zealand thing, you know, or like whatever. The circle was like that, but I didn't. So I was like the anomaly. So you can imagine every time I'm around them, when are you going to settle down? When are you going to get a job? What are you actually doing with this thing like you're trying to do? And then when you go to sleep, you're thinking those things like, shit, maybe I am crazy. Like maybe I'm delusional, etc. So 2016, I came up with a smart glasses fitness business. Won a French Innovation Prize, got flown to Paris, got to pitch on stage with, you know, the CEOs of Facebook, Alibaba, Google. That was just mind blowing. 60,000 people, largest tech expo in Europe, Viva Technology. And I sat in front of the Eiffel Tower on this patch of grass and looked at the Eiffel Tower thinking, bro, an idea got you here. Those ideas that everyone just talks about over a drink up or whatnot, you actually pursued that shit. You're on the other side of the globe. You've been flown there and you're on stage with these global giants. Like your mind is real. Like you're not crazy. That was one event where it's like, you just think different. Like own it. Stop fucking doubting yourself. Just own it.
Yeah.
Second one, more of a shorter one, would be coming back from that. You know, I grew that to a certain point. That didn't end up in the amount of zeros that I wanted it to, and that was even a reality check for me. I went back into personal training. Was dominating as a personal trainer, and then I just had this pull to ironically start a coaching consulting business or like help people activate what I do right now. I bet pretty much a lot of my capital. So I had no capital, no plan. My personal training business was giving me 3,000-ish a week on autopilot, 20 hours a week. So I had like a good setup. I was telling all of my clients, like, you know what? I think I'm just going to pull the plug on this and follow this thing. And they're like, okay, cool. 6 month savings, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah.
Financial runway.
Yeah.
Be secure. Yep.
And I was like, nah, I think I need to do it like next month.
That's how I work.
Me too. When I feel the feeling, it's like, I'd rather die than follow this feeling. You know, or like I'll follow the feeling or die.
Yeah.
So that was 2019 May for me. May 1st, 2019, I pulled the plug on personal training with no savings. And I just went all into high ticket coaching, consulting. And I made a bunch of money. And then I hit a dry spell for like 4 months.
Yeah.
Right down to the point that I couldn't afford a gym membership.
Yeah, wow.
And then coming through that was another moment of like, you're different. Like, who does that? But also now you have the right to like call people up because you're willing to do this shit. You know? So that 2017 moment in Paris and that 2019 all-in moment, I don't really doubt anymore.
I just loved everything that you said because, and one word really stands out to me, delusional, right? Because I think when people have such a big dream or not even a big dream, if someone just goes, I have this idea, but is it going to work? And everyone around them is not thinking that way. You do feel crazy and you go, well, I have to have this delusional belief that it's going to work for me. But at what point does it become too delusional that it's like, hey, reality check, you know, maybe you need to pivot or do whatever it is. But it's so funny how 2017 or the years before that, delusional to you was something that was shameful. But now working with you and knowing you, you're so proud of this word, I am delusional.
Yes.
And if you're in my orbit, you will experience the magic of delusion.
100%. I will add this, like, delusional gets rewired into visionary. That's why I've got it tattooed on my head. And another thing is, like, I've also realized that whoever you speak to is always going to project their beliefs onto you.
Yeah.
So if you've always been at a group that vibrates at a layer and then you're bringing something that's foreign to that layer, they're going to project their, you're delusional, you're crazy. But then if you speak to people where that's actually something that they've already done, they're like, yeah, you should do it tomorrow. So it actually just comes down to proximity, environment, groups, network, who you're around. And that's why like finding people that believe in you is essential because it's possible and you need that.
Yeah. I remember speaking to you about this once where I was like, it's just so crazy how when you are in the right rooms, your ideas don't feel crazy. And like, because I remember having these conversations of, you know, just going like, should I do this? Like, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should just quit my job. I've got a kid on the way. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to Europe. Like, I have to pay for all of these expenses. What's going to happen? And I remember telling my husband, Sid, and he was like, maybe you should just wait. Like, maybe now's not the right time. And I don't know. I just had this really weird belief in me that I just got to do it.
It's like a knowing. It's like it's already been decided inside of you, right?
Yeah, but you're freaking out. Like, I'm freaking out.
Fuck.
It's not like I'm going, yes, I believe in myself. Let's do this. But it's just this, it's like, yeah, this calmness, but freaking out calmness that you just got to do it. And if not now, then when, you know? And yeah, I mean, not to throw my husband under the bus, but I think like when I was speaking to him, I had that little feeling of, am I being too crazy? Am I being selfish because now is not the right time? And then I just remember sitting at the coffee shop, our first meeting, and just going like, wow, how powerful is it when someone sees a vision with you?
Definitely. Yeah.
And how fast do you move when that happens?
Yeah, and it's you'll feel this, and it's also even scarier now. It's actually even scarier when it's real and there's a door.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, I can't just hang out over here. Like the guy showed me the door, and he showed me it's unlocked, and he showed me it's open.
Yeah.
He showed me the cost. That's even scarier sometimes because when you can see that it's actually real and there's a pathway to it, and there's a cost, you actually got to go home and be like, fuck, is this really me? Like, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I want to talk about this concept that you taught me that has honestly really changed my life. And it was this concept of the golden egg, which I freaking love,
Mm.
right? And I think that even if you have a business or you don't have a business, so many of us don't want to show what we can offer to people because we're scared it's going to come off scammy, or we're scared that we can't add that kind of value that we think we can promise, or we're not ready.
Mm.
Like, can you talk more about, I don't know, like, how did you come up with that idea?
Yeah.
And like, how has that guided through so many pivotal moments in, like, when you're coaching people or just like in life in general?
Yeah, I'll share, like, firstly, that as a twist, a lot of my things have come from my own mentors, but instead of just hearing it and regurgitating it, I've heard it, I've embodied it, and it's come out of me in my own way.
Mm.
Like, I don't think it was one of my mentors, Steve. I don't think he said it as a golden egg, but that's how I saw it as he said it.
All right.
And therefore I felt it because I really embodied it, felt it, and that was the concept that I had embodied, and then I went along with it. But just to give some context on it, firstly, like, if you don't believe in if you're in business and you don't believe your product is the best, you've already lost. Like, of course, there's going to be products that are better, but there's never going to be your spin on it.
Mm.
Like, your spin is always your spin. If every product, there's millions of books out there, but each book has their own thumbprint, author, and even the author, how it's designed, what they're speaking about. Like, an author with 1,000 books, every book is going to be a unique thumbprint of that unique author.
Mm.
No different when it comes to videography, no different when it comes to coaching, consulting, anything, bars. So therefore, like, understanding that you are one of one is critical. If you're not, you're always going to be continually comparing and in comparison. And like, your business now is not serving people, which is the point of a business, a service.
Mm.
It's almost how to try and catch up and emulate others. And that's what you see online, is like, I'm doing this thing, and instead of just like blindly serving, I'm looking for like an answer of how another person is doing it,
Yeah.
so that I can replicate that.
Yeah.
So that's like the main track. That's the main thing that I do. And that's where I've sort of, like, once I understood that I'm one of one, and in a confident conviction way, not in a point of arrogance, because it can easily go that way.
Yeah.
You then realize, like, okay, if you're one of one, and like, you've realized you're one of one, therefore you can only sell something at this point that you truly fucking believe. Like, and there's a lot of like inner work, or like knowing your morals and values. Like, I can't sell anything that I don't believe. I can't even really say anything that I don't believe as a man, or as a person of value. So therefore, if I actually believe in this thing, and I believe in this so much that it's worth every fucking penny, it's worth more than what I'm charging, and I know what it can do for other people, I should be speaking to as many people as I can about this. It's not even marketing at this point. It's giving.
Mm.
It's
serving.
service.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a gift.
Yeah.
And then this gift analogy is like, okay, I've got, let's just say, a block of mentoring, coaching, advisory that I guarantee anybody who does this with me, their life will never be the same. But here's the thing. You can buy it off me, but you can't buy 10 off me at once. So I can only serve you in a time block. And if I want to give another 10, I can't give you 10 of my golden eggs. I've got to find another 9 people.
Mm.
So I look at it like that now, is like, I've been given this one of one thumbprint. All of us, like, think about this. In the whole history of humanity before us and after us, there'll never be another Chent.
Mm.
There might be a guy who looks like me, but not my unique, divinely orchestrated life experiences, mind, etc. And same as Steph.
Yeah.
So you've almost got a role. And if for us to think that, like, our existence and our life events are random or by chance and it doesn't mean anything, I think we really misunderstand what divinely orchestrates all of this, whether you believe in God or universe.
Mm.
So there's almost like an honoring of your existence. It goes down to that level.
Mm.
That, like, in any given time, my existence is coming to, like, everything, my unique thumbprint and whole history of humanity is coming through me. And if I can give that to somebody, they now become an embodiment of this one of one. They get something from this, and I'm going to get something from them as well. It's like an exchange.
Yeah.
And I look at humanity like that, this collective consciousness serving each other in this timeline. Because what we're in the timeline of let's just say I'm 1989. Let's just say 1950 to 2050 is like a timeline. And then at 2100 to 2200, it's a whole different layer of humans.
Yeah.
But they're going to be, what this layer gave. So this is how deep, I guess, this golden egg thing goes. And this is even how deep business goes. And people might say, bro, it's not that deep. But I guarantee everybody at the top of their game, even if they don't say this, they believe this in some element.
I think because I remember when I first started, I'm going, I kind of believe in what I'm doing, but there's this fear of like, is anyone going to buy my product? Is anyone going to see value in that? And that's also like the fear that I project in myself is projected through my business.
Yes.
But I love like that analogy of we're here to serve people. And I think, when we think about Maslow's law or whatever, like what the ultimate purpose that each of us are here to do is to spread that purpose. And we each have a unique purpose. And doing that with that, knowing that alignment is so powerful. Like if and also this then leads to this other concept, which a lot of my clients have actually been bringing up, right? So as they go through this journey of self-development, understanding themselves more, they realize that their current circles are being outgrown. They go, well, everyone kind of makes me feel like my dreams are really small, or everyone's kind of saying, questioning, are you sure? Like, are you sure you should do this? Is this the right choice? Like, is this very risky? And I think the first thing that people go to is, well, I need to ditch them. I need to like leave them because you are the product of your environment and yada yada, all those quotes you see online, which I agree to some extent. But also what I believe as well, also knowing that I've been in that trap as well, where I'm going, well, these people don't align with me. Like, should I just kind of cut them off?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But what if your purpose is to serve and to provide some kind of insight through the unique lens that you bring, then if you do ditch these people, like you're almost doing a disservice to them.
True.
Because you're shutting them off from being able to visually see the output or the product of whatever you're doing. And yes, like of course environment is really important, all that sort of stuff, but then when you see it as that, you're not sitting in those groups or those hangouts going like, oh, I feel really left out here, or I'm just better than this. Like, I don't need to be here. I'm wasting my time here. Have you felt that? Have you experienced that?
100%. I feel it's misunderstood. I agree. Like for me, there was periods of separation and isolation, but there's no thought of like, I have to cut you off. It's more so if you really believe in your dream and you got to do things, and therefore you actually got to start doing it, and you get so busy doing it that you'll actually find yourself around those groups less. That's it. And it's just learning when to say no, because sometimes you got to, in those eras, sometimes I had to stay up to 3 a.m. to try and figure out this damn funnel,
Yeah.
many times in a row, like many nights in a row. And then one of those nights, the boys want to drink. And oh, wait, shit, you haven't caught up in ages. But I'm like, bro, I need this. And sometimes I'll give in and I'll go there and then have that drink and then beat myself up about it, etc. So like on one side is as you actually just go and do everything you meant to be doing, you're not even really going to have as much time to hang around with them. So it's not a thing of like, I have to make a decision to cut people off. You'll just naturally rise up. And another thing is like, as you keep rising up, you're going to notice that as you become more valuable, you'll find yourself in rooms of higher value, full stop. And that's almost like entitlement sometimes. It's like, I'm this now, you guys are like that. Well, so then I need to find people like this. You'll be in those rooms when you truly are that. Get out there, then do something, then talk to somebody, then sell something, then build something, then. So it's like, you really got to, it always just comes back to the mirror. You look in the mirror and you just really level yourself up, and everything, the cards just fall where they're meant to fall.
There's so many people, and you'll see it as well, and I've seen it as well, where they have this idea, they start it, they go strong for a month, maybe it's like social media challenge or trying to show up. Everyone's talking about building their personal brand, all of that sort of stuff. They'll show up for a few weeks and then It'll just die. Why do you think it dies? Like, what is missing that people don't realize?
Yeah, you've heard this so many times, but it will be their why, honestly. And it's not like, okay, so why? Because I want to be rich. It's not deep enough. Why? Why do you want to be rich? I want to retire my parents. I used to stop there, but that's not deep enough. Because you come to a point, actually, like I remember I always wanted to do something for my dad because my mum's obviously not around. I remember like I made 50,000, my first time making 50K in a day, in an hour. And I showed him my bank account going, check this out. And he looked at it and he goes, cool, have you eaten? And he didn't give a fuck. He gave 0 fucks. And then something, I then actually lost a lot of momentum from that because that was my number one driver. So I'm like, why the fuck am I doing it now? You know? So you really got to understand why you're doing anything. Like I'm not doing what I do to be the best consultant, mentor, coach in the world. I'm not doing this to become the next Zuckerberg with presence. I'm doing this. I'm not doing it to get anywhere. I'm being pulled by something or being led by something. And it's like everything in my life keeps leading me to the something. So I'm just almost like excited and nervous and fearful, just following the something. So doing a lot of introspection will help you build a connection with the something where you don't keep quitting on yourself. And like business and entrepreneurship is the art of pivoting. It's always going to change forms. Like majority of large companies, like what Nokia, whatever, they weren't selling what they were selling when they got famous, right? So you're going to find your offer navigates, pivots, and grows with you, but you're driven by something, which is the lifeline and the pulse of your ultimate business. Yeah. And it always, I don't even know what I'm going to end up doing by 45. Feeling it's going to be something in self-development, professional development, expansion of minds. Something's going to keep leading me. And therefore, I'm not scared about anything ending because it's just going to be rebirthed into another form of the business.
But see how you said that with no, like there is a fear, but it's not a fear of like being fearful. There's a calmness in your answer.
Yeah.
And I ask this because there's so many people right now who understand that from a theoretical point of view. They see the quote, be consistent, show up, don't quit on yourself, like all of these things, which was something that I subscribed to as well. But as I've gotten deeper and deeper, I'm realizing there's another deeper layer to this, and that's energy, which I like something that you've taught me. So for you, how do you rebalance that energy where you can say all these things and you're saying, I don't know what the future's going to hold, but I know there's going to be something.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, they sit in that fear and it's scary.
100%.
I don't know. How can you not know? We got to make a plan,
You said it best. It's theoretical. And it comes back to those layers. Like they're all like it's all stages, and we've all been there. I subscribed to that for a period of time, and that was my mind layer, and that had to break because I subscribed to it, but I kept quitting on myself.
Yeah.
And then that frustration leads to the mind breaking for you to be like, I'm subscribing. Why is nothing happening? And then you get led to something, and then a random by chance somebody's story pops up, and they're talking about you frustrated, you're always quitting on yourself. Maybe it's an identity thing, maybe it's an energy thing, and now you start subscribing to that. Yeah. So like it's one of those things. If someone watching this is at that point, it's not about learning anything. It's about being taken somewhere now. Like if anybody is in a room with me, I can take you there. I can show you there's something, but I can't give you any information to talk about something that you can only feel.
Yeah. Which then leads into this is actually what has completely changed the momentum and the results and my life the last 3 months, the last 3 or 4 months, well, 3 months, of working with you, right? It's this trap that so many high achievers get stuck in, which is, well, one, we already feel like we're not good enough, even though I was having this conversation yesterday with a client, right? She goes, I don't know if my product is the best. Like I'm my harshest critic. I'm like, all high achievers are.
Yes.
Why? Because when you are purpose-led, and you're high achieving. Why are you high achieving? Is because you want the best for others. Most high achievers are doing things for others, not for themselves. And because they come from that place of serving and they want the best for others, nothing's ever going to be the best for them.
Sure.
The person you serve best, or you should be serving the most, is yourself, but you do that through serving others. And so then we get stuck in this loop of, well, I don't know enough. I need to learn more. I need to listen to more podcasts. Like maybe my business can be better times 10 if I did this course. And then you just get stuck in this trap, which was me. It's like, this course, okay, but then I'm not good at content recording. So let me do a course on content recording. And then you never actually start the thing.
Nah.
Right? But how do you know when it's time to start versus when it's time to learn?
That's a very mind question, and that's the answer, right? Like, it's going to sound very left field, but you'll get it, is be curious to see what's asking that question. The same thing asking that question is telling you and convincing you, which is your mind, which is in a dialogue that you watch, that's not you. If you can build some space to watch how the mind is continually this commentating, yeah, maybe you should do this. This thing looks good. Yeah, but why? And then it's like, cool, I can see I'm doing. It's never ending. It's never ending. And therefore, you also are very humbled. Like the mind really thinks it controls everything.
Yeah.
Like the ego control.
There was one that how you said the mind is a really great partner, but a bad master.
Yeah, like a great servant or a partner is a better word, but a horrible master, because it's going to lead you down things that are limited to its own perspective. The mind is false. It's true based on its own point of view, but there's another point of view that gives you the opposite. And if the mind is very strong and very mind heavy, which is ego or personal identity, you're going to battle that opposing view, going, nah, you don't see it. I love that simple thing where it's a 6 and a 9. That the guy's saying it's 6 and the guy's saying it's 9, and then they go to war over it. You know, and then they'll build companies preaching 6 and build companies preaching 9. But if you can step back from the mind, you can see that it's a 9, and then this, from this point of view, it's a weird shape. Yeah, it's a hieroglyphic, whatever. But now you have a complete perspective where you're not just like stuck. So that coming back to that thing of like that loop usually is just a fixed paradigm and a very strong mind. And how do you get out of it? Honestly, you actually can't until it starts to crack. And this is like this divine order. Like, why did everything happen in the timeline that it happened for me? Why did we connect when you were 29 and not 34 or 26? You could have thought that, man, it would have been handy to know this energy thing at 24.
Sure.
You just the cracks weren't cracking enough.
Yeah.
You know? So it happens when it happens. And there's like a beautiful thing of like destiny. Where you can really let go and surrender to allow things. So it's almost just like you'll be free if you're meant to be free.
Yeah. But then that's really interesting as well, because one thing that I would say you do really well, but maybe you might say it also depends on the person, is this idea of collapsing timelines. Like, even though we say things are meant to happen, and I think a lot of people sometimes use this as a way to make themselves feel better about themselves and the lack of progress or the lack of momentum they're having. We say, you know, everything is meant to happen at the right time that it's meant to happen. But then there are actually things, and I say this because I've experienced it myself, where, you know, for years, like my entire life, this pressure that I put on myself, where I just felt like nothing was ever enough. But I was trying to be grateful and I was trying to be appreciative, and I did all these things, but it never settled. And then just one reframe or two or whatever it is, right? You can actually change that and build a faster momentum. Like, how does that happen?
Comes back to perspective, man. Like, and I would even layer this in. Everything is a paradox. Like, everything is yes and no. Everything is left and right. So sometimes we just want the one answer. But if you can learn to operate as a paradox, like, yes, everything is in divine timing, but at the same time, I could have moved way faster. And I shouldn't wait. And I got to go for it. So that's the mentality I've just learned to move with, being open-minded, which is just like your mind is now open to see many perspectives. Is like, as much as I'm at peace with everything and how it's been, And, it's going to happen whenever it meant to happen, etc. I'm still going to try to make it happen today because somebody out there has the perspective to make it happen today.
Yeah.
And therefore, I'm not getting fixed-minded. So I'm always playing devil's advocate with myself, and not like in a continual doubting way, but in an expansive way.
Yeah.
So I love to see the dialogue when I'm planning things like, cool, 6-month goals. And then I'll look at, boom, write it out. And then I'll look at 6 and I'll be like weeks, days, hours.
Mm.
And then now that's a different thought process. And you'll find that if you're like, okay, this is my 6-hour goal, my day looks very different to what my 6-month goal day would look like.
Yeah.
So then what happens if I just keep doing the 6-hour day, 6-hour goal day? I actually become a different person because I'm moving at a whole different pace because I've said 6 hours is possible, ... And if I don't know how to think like that, I'll generally find somebody who moves like that. This guy seems like he's a guy achieving this much in a short period of time. Comes back to perspective shifts, comes back to collapsing time.
Mm.
And then you'll naturally find that if you've allowed your mind to be open in that area, you'll start to attract this thing called your reticular activating system. This bit in your subconscious mind actually opens you up to identify everything that aligns with that potential.
Yeah.
So then you'll scroll on Instagram, and the same people you've been following and seeing the same algorithm will start showing you things supporting 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours. And then now you actually got to move because some of those things might cost a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy. Great. It's going to have a big demand. Like collapsing time is not just fun, as you've noticed.
Mm.
You get pressed,
Yeah.
You're moving in 6 hours. What you got to achieve in 6 hours, what would usually take you 6 months. It's possible, but you're going to feel the weight of that compression.
Yeah.
So sometimes like 6 months to 6 hours is not possible. You got to go 6 months to 3 months first. Get used to that like rate of compression and pressure on your system.
Yeah.
Break a little bit, but break healthily that you don't fully like break,
Yeah.
And then you go from 3 months to 1 month. And then it's like compression is a process that you don't just jump the gun. You don't just go from 100 kg squat to 200,
Yeah.
going 100 to 105. It's progressive overload.
Yeah. 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 And that thing that you just did there as well, so many people don't do, where they go, well, I think it should be 6 months. And one thing that has really changed how I see things is like people normally say the thing that they say because they're comfortable with that, even if it feels uncomfortable. So for you to be able to sit back and go, well, this looks like a 6-month thing. But then people might, okay, why don't we challenge ourselves to 3 months? But no one even takes it 10 layers further. What about 6 weeks? What about 6 hours? What about 6 minutes?
Yes.
And I think that's the thing that a lot of people, if they're feeling really stuck right now, that's the exact way of thinking and challenge and pressure that they need in themselves to move.
True.
Yeah.
I would say this: impossible is just impossible translated is outside of your perspective. Impossible equals outside my perspective. So for me, like 6 months to 3 months, possible. I get it. Logical. You just 2 weeks all of your output. 6 months into 1 month, 6 weeks your output. It'll be a bit difficult. I might have to get a VA appointment set up. Still logical, still calculatable. But 6 months to 6 hours, I've no fucking idea. That's where I like to play. So I'll still do the 6-month thing, but I'll just keep saying, what would a 6-hour guy do? And I'll sort of assume that impossibility, because that then is going to open up my perspective to make impossible possible.
I want to switch it up a bit now because
Sure.
this is one thing that I really, really loved about working with you. And we're talking energy, we're talking masculine versus feminine, right? Because I think a lot of us now, I think self-development has definitely evolved where masculine energy, feminine energy is not really an unknown word anymore. With high achievers, I think they are generally more on the masculine energy side. And I used to think that was it was great because it got me 2 places. And then it got to a point where I was like, man, I can't operate from this anymore. Let me go full fem energy, and then trying to find like a spot in the middle. But I think that's what people get trapped with. We have to find the balance, the middle, 50 masculine, 50 feminine.
Yes.
But I disagree with that because I think I'm probably like 70 masculine, 30, I mean, yeah, probably lately. Um, but how do you use that as a way to navigate coaching a client and getting the best out of them?
Mm. I look at this picture like this, and it's awesome. I've never seen seen it in this way. I look at masculine energy as like reach and speed, like width and speed, and I look at feminine energy as depth and grounding. So if you just go, 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 especially, and it's different for a male and a female, but look, we'll talk about females, right? So for yourself, being go, 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 like you're pushing hard, you're going wide, but eventually you get to a point where you can't even really get wider. It's like you actually need to go a bit more deeper and ground yourself before there's a foundation to go wider.
Mm.
On the flip side of that, you can go so deep and so grounded, but you're not driving and putting anything out there. There's no masculine push, that you're still broke or you're still making no money in this business and it's still a hobby of yours.
Mm.
You need to switch on that masculine switch and drive and push and lead and be that person. So firstly, just understanding that dynamic is big, because you're always going to come up to plateaus as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, there's no timeline on it. You can be in masculine for like 10 years. And then on the 11th year, you need a feminine deep dive, even for like a month, and then go back to masculine.
Mm.
You just have to become really in tune with yourself. But the signal is usually like roadblocks, when you just can't get past something. And here's another sort of like a deeper layer of that. It's not even just past something on a surface level, but if something just changes in you and you're not feeling it anymore, or something is like blocked within you, even though everything out here is moving, you got to go within. It's a signal to explore that. So like for you, right, you're a very strong masculine, you have a very powerful masculine energy.
Mm.
The roles you've had in corporate, your past, etc. Jumping into business, naturally, you'll lead with a masculine push.
Mm.
But the depth and the grounding of a core business to build like your core offer and to charge like a premium price point and to build a community that sticks with you and to make sure like your first 10, 20, 30 customers are life-changing experiences, that requires some serious depth.
Mm.
So you really need to focus a little bit on feminine, but not get so lost in that you don't reach out and exactly. And you need the momentum as well on an early business and all business, which is also masculine drive.
Mm.
So that's been like a seasonal thing for us, where sometimes it's like you only need to be in your feminine for like our session, and then you can go be masculine again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like a 1 day, 6 day balance. Sometimes it's like a 7 month, 1 month balance. It's a feely thing.
Yeah. But then even going deeper than that, right? Because like I was so, the kind of narratives, the way that I would speak to myself to even get me to do stuff was like, in hindsight, I'm like, what the fuck was I saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, man, you think this is good enough? No, like this is good enough. And I'd still use those concepts of like, you need to do more to serve your people. You need to do more to serve your community. How can you give them results if you're not good enough, if you haven't done this? And like that would motivate me or move me to do whatever I needed to do. But then after a while, I just, there was nothing left. I couldn't pull from that energy source anymore. If someone is in that space right now where they have been so wired to motivate themselves and push themselves from a place of like, you are not, like, this is not enough. You can do more. Like, and all those, I like to say Alex Hormozy type bro motivational quotes where it's like, you only have this much time left. Like, how are you going to spend it? How are you going to utilize it? How do you make that switch to, or how would one person make that switch to tap into that place of love and abundance rather than like that fear and that scarcity?
Yeah, it's gonna sound super fluffy, like
because there's a lot of detail.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in 20 minutes.
Man. Okay, I could easily say you got to meditate, play around with meditation, play around with breath work, etc. But you can even do that. I've seen like masculine meditation, You're going
I
into the
probably did that.
Me too.
10 minutes.
Exactly. So I can perform harder.
Yeah.
My morning high performance routine. It's like I approached it like that. But you need to just better connect with whatever the fuck you are. Like you need to understand like what is inside, like what is this feeling inside you? Connect with that however you want to connect with that. Explore. As you explore, you're going to be led to your way. It might be nature, it might be friends. It might, like, I've actually found a lot of my feminine lately has just been actually having a bender with some close friends in Melbourne,
Yeah.
getting off my head. And I'm just DNMing like deep and meaningfuls on a level that I don't have space to do. And that's been connecting me back with myself.
Yeah. And really loving what you're saying there. It's like you've got to find your way and own that way.
Yes.
I made a post yesterday about like how it's so ironic. It's so ironic that each of us are finding our identity and what our value proposition is or what makes us unique. But then we always look to someone else to find some sort of commonality.
Yes.
Just to prove that what we're doing could work. And that idea of having to see someone else do it first so that it gives you the belief that you can do it.
That's it. It's the funny thing with humans. And I would even say like just okay, it's healthy to emulate people. I remember Ed Milet is one guy that I listen to a lot. He says it best. He goes, don't look at mentors or people of inspiration to replicate. More so model areas of their life. Like I would not urge somebody to model every area of my life, but model the areas of my life how you want to live in that area. And I do the same. So it just comes down to, again, like really finding out what works for you. And also another reason why I stopped doing like courses and stuff is like I'd rather explore and find what works for that person, you know?
Yeah. And that's the key. It's understand the framework and not the exact steps.
100%, because everyone's different. Like if I create a 10-step process, this is what I noticed. I used to create the perfect process to automate and run ads, and then like I could be serving 100 people, a month, and then that's going to be good for the numbers, etc. But if this is the process, I found that sometimes people don't need module 1 first, they need module 7 first, and with where they are in life. And sometimes they don't need module 5, they need module 5 spoken in this way instead.
Yeah.
So there's no like, and I feel like when any sort of like service provider, coach, consultant, mentor, whatever, or a lot of businesses realize that they transition from cookie cutter to personalized.
Yeah.
But then the energy required to personalize plus the transformation personalization gives, you're charging more. So then you start moving into a different market as well. So then like, it really depends, like wherever the viewer is, if they're in very early stages of self-development, do a course, do a couple of courses, like get the frameworks, as he said, and then start to notice like, okay, cool, these frameworks are a good foundation, but I'm missing like the spin on this area or that spin on that area. Then go find someone that's going to be with you in the trenches over a period of time, mentor, coach, whatever, group, community, and then get them to help you extract out what you really need to look for in specific areas. I think that's the path.
I love that. I really, really love that. And again, that comes down to the self-awareness of knowing what season you're in.
Yeah.
Like, are you in that season of having to accumulate and learn to build the foundations, or are you already past that and that's just your comfort zone and now we need to execute and finding different ways to make that work for you as well, but having that self-awareness as well. Obviously, master of achievement in the name, a master of achievement, a master of, as you would say. What did achievement mean to you? How has it transformed over time, and what does it mean to you now?
Interesting. I've never been asked that question ever. So this is cool. Okay. What had achievement meant to me? Something interesting, something that I needed to feel worthy. What is it? I feel like there's some truth in that still that I think I'll forever be working through. But achievement right now, I would say if I had to healthily reframe that, I would say it's actually a reward to myself. It's rewarding myself for being me.
Mm.
So a reward is something that I get to give to myself versus the previous, which is something that I need to feel myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really, really powerful.
Yeah.
That's really, really powerful. Well, Chent, it was such a pleasure to have you on the podcast. As always, I love the transformations that you do for your clients, but also just the level of depth that you bring and also the execution that you are able to create with everything that you're doing. And so it was just incredible to have you on this platform.
Thank you. Pleasure. Maybe episode 2 we can have a little baby here as well.
Yeah, I'll be like, shh.